Hey guys, it's Audra and welcome back to my channel. I am here today with my very first book outlet unboxing. It is a giant box, but there are 15 books in here that I got for $35. That is insane. Like, you can't buy two regular price books for that, like new hardback or anything. So I'm pumped to open this up and to show you what I picked out. So the reason that I actually did this little shopping spree was to celebrate getting my port out. So you can kind of see, there's my little line there. My port is gone. I'm no longer an alien, and I'm no longer receiving treatment for breast cancer. So of course I needed to celebrate. I wanted to celebrate with a cheap book. So 15 books for 35 bucks. Here they are. So the first one is She Will Build Him a City by Raj Kamal Jha. Maybe, I'm not sure. But this is a beautiful cover, first of all. And what I can gather kind of from the synopsis is basically it is a story set in India about a man, a woman, and a child throughout the city that are somehow connected together. And it kind of reminded me a lot of the movie Crash, which shows like how all these different groups of people are connected through one storyline. And so I love stories like that, and this looked like a really good read, so that's one I picked up. The next one is The Life List, and this is actually one I've read before, but one of my goals for 2018 is to reread my favorite books, and this is one of them that I read after my brother passed away that kind of made me feel like I wasn't alone in my grief. And this is actually a story about a woman who loses her mom, and she's only able to get her inheritance from her mother if she completes her life list that she created when she was 14 years old. And so it's just kind of a heartwarming tale of a woman going through all these things that she thought was important when she was a teenager, and then also coming to terms with the death of her mother. So this was a great read, and I highly recommend it. I'm excited that I got a very cheap copy of it to reread for the year. The next one I have is The Cage. It is a Holocaust memoir by Ruth Minsky Cinder. And if you know me and the books I like to read at all, obviously I'm going to have a few of these World War II books in here. This is a memoir about a girl who was taken to Auschwitz. And the next one I got was A Madness So Discreet. It is by Mindy McGinnis. And I really don't know a whole lot about this other than I saw it on Reagan's channel from Peru's Project. And she made it sound like it was a really great read. It is an historical thriller set in an insane asylum. So, sounds interesting. And the cover, that hand on the bottom, reaching for the girl, is very bizarre. So I'm excited to see what that is about. The next one I got was The Miracle Girl by Andrew Rowe. The cover immediately pulled me in. It looks a lot like The Girl with All the Gifts, and so I thought maybe it was a zombie book, but it's not. This is a book about a girl who's in a coma, but the people around her begin to think that she has these healing powers, and so people start to travel to her type of thing. So there's another one that I've never heard of and don't know much about, but it sounds like it's going to be a good one. So that would be another perk about Book Outlet. Not only are the books cheap, but you can get them very cheap when you haven't heard any recommendations or reviews about them and you just want to give them a shot based on the information that you do know, which is just the synopsis, the cover, and that kind of stuff. And so it's a very cheap way to try new books. The next one I got was Anya's War. It's by Andrea Albin. And this is another World War II book about a Jewish family that is trying to obviously seek safety, but it also tries to entwine the different things going on within that time period, also like Amelia Earhart going missing. And it also says on the back that Anya, the girl, finds a baby that was abandoned, so that's obviously intriguing. So it's a short read. I believe it's a children's book, and I've been wanting to try it, so I found a cheap price for it, and I snagged one. This next one is 29 by Adina Alpern, and this is one of my favorites that I would like to reread in 2018. And it is about a girl that switches bodies with her grandmother. And it's just a fun, cute, contemporary, is it contemporary if it has bodies switching? Probably not. But it's still pretty cute and it's a lot of fun. And I'm excited to reread it because it reminds me a lot of my grandmother and her spunky personality that is in this story. The next one I grabbed was Violent Ends. It is by, last name of Hutchinson. I don't know, it doesn't say the name on the front. Oh, okay. So this is told in 17 points of view, so it looks like maybe there's 17 different authors in this book, if I understand that correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a story about a kid that opens fire in a school, I believe, and the different points of view of the kids that were in that school. So this is going to be a hard one to read, but I think it's going to be a great one too. I've heard some really great reviews. So this next one is also a hardcover, and it's by Jocelyn Jackson, and it's called Someone Else's Love Story. This is another one of those cute contemporaries that I'm excited to get into. So from my understanding, this is about a woman and her son that is saved by a man with Asperger's during a robbery at a gas station, and it's kind of how they fall in love or explore love when they're very different. And so I'm excited to give this one a try. I read another one of Jocelyn Jackson's books this year, and I really enjoyed it, so I want to read some more of her in 2018. All right, so this one is probably the one I'm most excited for. As dark and twisty as it sounds, I think it's going to be fantastic. This is called Block 11, and it's by Piero de Galli Antoni, so I'm definitely thinking this is probably a translated book, but this sounds so good. This is set in 1944 Auschwitz, and there are 10 prisoners that are selected to die, and then the last minute the commandant says that actually only one will die because they need everybody else for labor. But it's the 10 people that were selected that have to decide which of them will be the one to die. So it's kind of a whole night of them figuring out the importance of everyone's life and who will be the one that is sacrificed. It sounds super dark and twisty, but I know it's going to be one that has the potential to stick with me for a very long time, so I'm excited. This will probably be the first one that I pick up. Another one I got as a hard copy is Read Bottom Up, or Read Bottom Up, I'm not quite sure, by Neil Shah and Sky Capham. I don't know a whole lot about this. I'm assuming it's contemporary, but it is told in like email and messenger format, so it will be a quick read and just kind of a nice change of pace. So I saw this in a bookstore a very long time ago, and I found it for a very cheap, like 89-cent price, and so I thought to give it a shot. This next one is Rose Under Fire. It is by Elizabeth Wayne? I don't know. It's the same author that did Codename Veridity. Although I never made it through that book, the style just wasn't for me. I'm going to give this one a try. It's another concentration camp story about a girl that's in Ravensbrück, which is the all-women's concentration camp. And I don't really know much else about it other than that, but I want to give it a try. So I got a copy of it. So Pretty Girl 13 by Liz Coley is another one that I picked up because I heard about it a long time ago and I wanted to read it. It is about a 16-year-old girl that basically has to solve her own kidnapping and abuse after she has made it back home. So this is probably going to be another one that's kind of hard to read, but it's probably a great thriller. All right, this is my last World War II book, I promise. This is The Major's Daughter by J.P. Francis, and it is about a girl whose father is the one that is in control of the prisoners of war here in the United States. So, from what I can tell, there's probably a love interest involved between the daughter and a prisoner, so that's going to be dicey, but it's probably also a great read. And the last one is another one of my favorites. It is Your Perfect Life by Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. And this is actually an autographed copy, which is pretty cool. And so I will be rereading this in 2018. But this is about two friends that are at a high school reunion and they're kind of jealous of each other's lives, one with kids and one without, I believe. And when they wake up the next morning, they're in the other one's body. So that is a lot like the book 29, I guess. But for some reason, that whole Freaky Friday, like getting back into your own body thing, I guess, is appealing to me. So I'm going to reread this one as well as some other favorites in 2018. So these are all 15 of the books that I picked up in my $35 book haul. Can you believe it? Like, these are great books. I cannot wait to dig into them in 2018. If you have not checked out Book Outlet, you definitely want to get on that because I know I'm going to do some more shopping on there next year. So I'll leave a link to that down below so you can easily check it out on your own. But anyways, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.